Hey YouTube, Joyboy here. So, today I want to talk about Charlotte Katakuri. And so let me start off here, which is that I think that Katakuri is ridiculously strong. In fact, I think that by a good amount, he is the second strongest person on Whole Cake Island. And the reason that I say this is obviously Katakuri is ridiculously strong. Even during the events in the Tea Party, he was seeming to take on multiple of these strats at the same time, as well as Capone, and they didn't really get much on him. He's got a Logia-like fruit. We'll talk about his fruit in the future. It's now classified as a special paramecia, but his fruit is definitely really strong, giving him a body that is honestly really similar to Luffy's, as well as a sticky factor in the ability to produce this as well with Mochi. I also think that we can safely assume that his Haki is very near top tier, if not just straight up top tier. He can see into the future slightly by 3 seconds or so using his observation Haki, which should not be underestimated. He's also incredibly intelligent and strategic. But anyway, long story short guys, is Katakuri strikes me as someone who would be very, very difficult to beat, and is just starting off just incredibly stronger than anyone that is part of the Allies group. This includes Luffy, and so I might compare Katakuri to several of the other Straw Hats and say Katakuri will beat them, but it's not because I have anything against any of those characters. I don't think that anyone is trash, I just think Katakuri is great. There's a lot of people out there that were seeming to be rooting for or expecting Sanji to take on Katakuri in a one-on-one fight, and this is just something that I don't see as being possible. I think their argument is that Katakuri, being a mochi fruit user, is composed of food, and Sanji being a cook, then maybe Sanji would have some sort of advantage over Katakuri. But guys, if Katakuri does not use his fruit at all, I think that he could easily beat Sanji. So if Sanji gets some sort of slight power up because Katakuri's devil fruit is food related, and then all Katakuri would need to do is just straight up not use his devil fruit ability, use his natural strength and speed, his observation Haki, his ability to see into the future slightly, and I don't see this being a contest. It's incredibly hard to power scale, and I try to avoid it as much as possible, but I view Sanji as approximately the same strength as Ichiji, and Ichiji got destroyed, got absolutely wrecked by Katakuri in a matter of seconds. The only person that I see having any amount of possibility of success against Katakuri would be Luffy. But based on their bounties, I think we can assume the rank of the Sweet Commanders. First you would have Katakuri, then you would have Smoothie, then you would have Cracker. And when it came to Luffy versus Cracker, it's kind of unclear whether or not Luffy could have perhaps tried a different strategy versus Cracker if he perhaps was saving a bit of his strength because he knew he had a lot more fights to come and therefore was a little less aggressive and a little bit more passive. Maybe he could have won. But the reality of the situation is that in order for Luffy to defeat Cracker, using the strategy that he did, it required help from Nami. Luffy was not going to beat Cracker without Nami. So I think guys, by looking at the chapter as it was, I think you would have to assume that Cracker is slightly stronger than Luffy. But if you are optimistic and you reason it, you can possibly think that Luffy is about the same strength as Cracker. Best case scenario. It would then follow, based on the perceived rankings of the Sweet Commanders, that Katakuri is 2 levels Sweet Commander higher than Cracker, which would mean that most definitely he is stronger than Luffy. I also think it's fair to reason that Luffy is quite a bit stronger than Sanji. No hate to Sanji fans out there, but I just see that being the case, especially with Gear 4th Luffy versus Doflamingo compared to Sanji versus Doflamingo. I think the comparison there, unless, Luffy gets a power-up or Sanji gets a power-up, that's pretty much set in stone, meaning that Katakuri is quite a bit stronger than Sanji. But I also think that it's worth reasoning that in the case of Luffy versus Katakuri, Luffy has been fighting ever since he arrived in Whole Cake Island. He fought Cracker, he fought the Enraged Army, he nearly tore his arms off in the prison, he then went on to fight at the Tea Party once again. There's a very real possibility that Luffy might be tired. When we see Luffy go up against Big Mom, he shut off his Gear 4th. But the entire scenario around this gives off the impression that he was sort of drained already. A lot of people think that Big Mom was the one to drain his ability. I don't think so. I just think that Luffy is incredibly tired. But regardless of just how tired he is, how much left that he has to give, I think that it's very easy to just add this onto the equation and give even more reason for Katakuri to be able to defeat him. I really think that the only hang-up that people would have about these Straw Hats not being able to defeat Katakuri is that when it comes to obstacles in their path, you know, they will always find a way to either win or escape, whatever it might be that is necessary. And so with that being said, then obviously they're going to be able to give enough to get around Katakuri if Katakuri tries to stop them. But you know, here we are at the end of the last chapter with Katakuri waiting on the Sunny. I think it's almost inevitable that these Straw Hats will confront Katakuri, given that their objective right now is to get on the Sunny and Katakuri is waiting there. And so if Katakuri must be defeated, I see two ways in which it seems likely that this will occur to me. And the first way is a tag team effort by the vast majority of the Straw Hats that we see heading towards Katakuri right now. And so guys, a lot of people were connecting Sanji to Katakuri. Katakuri's devil fruit uses food, Sanji is a cook. This could be a way in which Oda could incorporate this concept into the battle without it necessarily having to be a one-on-one Sanji versus Katakuri. But honestly guys, I think the most persuasive way of looking at this is based on the abilities of two Straw Hats. Yes, Jinbei is a Straw Hat. We're counting Jinbei and Nami, which is back in the Tea Party. It was revealed that Katakuri's devil fruit is weak to water. It's naturally sticky, and by essentially moistening it or adding water to it, it loses that particular capability and loses a lot of what makes it so difficult to deal with. And I want to give a quick shout out to Kristoff, who sent me a brief message suggesting this. And so the Sunny is by the sea, Jinbei is a fisherman, master of fisherman karate, and the Tea Party, he took tea to weaken Katakuri's devil fruit ability, but next to the ocean he can actually use the ocean water, which could also have some sort of effect with Katakuri's devil fruit as well, potentially. But I think even more persuasive than this, Nami seemingly, as of the last chapter, just recruited Zeus, the Cloud that can produce storms. Zeus could create a storm to make it rain or something like that on Katakuri, essentially nullifying the vast majority of his devil fruit abilities. With his devil fruit abilities essentially stripped from him, I think then someone like Luffy could come in with Gear 4th and have a real opportunity to inflict damage upon Katakuri and potentially defeat him. But again guys, based on my determinations on Katakuri's strength, I really only see him losing if all of the Straw Hats were to gang up on him. And I think that it's important to point out that based on the image that we saw Katakuri and the Sunny in the Straw Hat ship, that there seems to be at best one other, perhaps semi-decently strong person with him. And although there may be more, I think that it's safe to assume that there isn't any of those other just completely top tier Big Mom pirates with him. Since at this point in time we know who all the top tier members are, with the possible exception of Snack, who we know by name only, not appearance. And so guys, this is one way that I could see Katakuri going down, but another way is based on really the sequence of events in the next couple chapters that makes the most sense to me, which is the possibility that Big Mom might contribute to the defeat of Katakuri. Basically guys, when Big Mom goes on a rage, nobody is her friend, not even her own crew. Back when she first went on rage, she killed Moscato. She doesn't seem to recognize anyone. Even recently, she killed Opera. She threatened her other son, Perospero. So Big Mom right now is chasing the Straw Hats. These Straw Hats are currently heading towards the Sunny, unaware that Katakuri is waiting for them there. So they have no reason to change paths. Their objective should be to continue to press forward and reach the Sunny, and when they finally do that, they will encounter Katakuri. And they will also simultaneously lead Big Mom to the Sunny as well, and lead her to Katakuri. Guys, I think that this really easily sets up a situation in which you have three separate groups all fighting each other. Meaning that if Katakuri wants to fight the Straw Hats, he would simultaneously have to fight Big Mom herself. But of course the same applies to the Straw Hats. Guys, it may even be possible that the Straw Hats and Katakuri team up to go against Big Mom, who is really the threat to everyone. Keep this in mind, Katakuri did not expect these Straw Hats to escape from Big Mom. He most assuredly did not expect them to lead Big Mom to him, so this happening will be outside of what it is that he predicted. And this leads to a very important question, which is that up until this point in the story, every single one of Big Mom's own children are revealed to be scared of her. And being scared of her, they're subject to possibly her using her Devil Fruit ability on them so that she can steal their life force. But is this true with Katakuri or not? If I was to speculate one Big Mom pirate who may not be scared of his own mother, that person would be Katakuri. but still, with all of the other ones being scared, it makes you wonder if Katakuri would be the same. Is Big Mom going to help the Straw Hats by defeating Katakuri? But anyway guys, based on how it's set up right now, this is how I see Katakuri's fight going down near the Sunny in the next upcoming chapters. There's obviously a lot more that I could potentially speculate, details that I could add in, which might in various ways influence your opinions or not, but I think that this is the bare bones of what you need. Big Mom is following the Straw Hats, therefore Big Mom will encounter Katakuri, so it'd be Katakuri versus Straw Hats versus Big Mom. If they in some way deal with Big Mom, or in some way lure Big Mom away, however that may be possible, then it could be all of the Straw Hats teaming up against Katakuri. And it is worth pointing out that if Big Mom does end up defeating Katakuri, with Nami having control of Zeus, it appears as the last chapter, as long as these Straw Hats get on their ship with Zeus comes with them, then Big Mom would have no way of following them. She cannot fly without Zeus, it does not appear. She cannot swim because she has the Devil Fruit ability, so if they get far enough away and are able to defend themselves from attacks from the shore, then they could possibly escape from Big Mom. But also guys, I think it's important to point out that if Zeus does accompany the Straw Hats as they leave Whole Cake Island, then Whole Cake Island is screwed because the Big Mom Pirates' plan was to lure Big Mom to Chocolate Town, where the ingredients are. But without Zeus, she can't be lured anywhere. She must stay in Whole Cake Island, meaning the Big Mom Pirates' plans will fail. And thereby you would have to assume that they would be screwed and the vast majority of them would die. And as you guys will know, regardless of if the Straw Hats have an opportunity to escape and potentially even get on their ship to get ready to escape, something will force them to stay in Whole Cake Island so that Sanji can make the cake for Big Mom. I could spend a lot of time trying to argue all the various facets that might convince people of this or that, but honestly at this point in time it's very ambiguous and would be incredibly difficult to argue anything persuasively, given it's a lot of, well, this seems likely, this doesn't seem likely, I'll argue this, but then this is possible, there's things that I couldn't even consider as well, so I consider it mostly a waste of time. But the main purpose of this video is to sort of try and predict or describe what I think that will happen with Katakuri and the fights that Katakuri will have in the next few chapters. But let me know what you think, let me know if you agree or disagree, and why. Share your thoughts, like the video if you like the video, dislike the video if you dislike the video, subscribe if you want to be notified for my future content, and as always guys, have a wonderful day.